Buying a car versus leasing a car. Buying can be defined as the act of acquiring the possession of something, or the right to something, by paying or promising to pay an equivalent, especially in money. Leasing can be defined as the act of contract renting or instrument conveying something to another for a specified period or for a period determinable at the will of either lessor or lessee in consideration of rent or other compensation. Most people looking to either buy or lease a vehicle typically fall into two categories. The first type being those who can outright purchase the car in full. The second type being those who can only afford to pay for a portion of the car, yet still wanting to leave the shop or dealership with the vehicle. In a world where everything changes rapidly, managing your personal and professional lives can be quite difficult and at times hectic. If you don't have a personal means of transportation, life can become even more exhausting, as you will always struggle to find a way to get around. To make your life easier, you should always try to find an easier and more reliable way of transportation. One of the main reasons why cars have become more prevalent and important is because it is one of the safest and best mode of transportation available to us. Getting from point A to B has never been easier than before. You don't need to rely on public transportation for your daily commutes anymore and can enjoy the liberty and independence that comes with a car. Leasing is, in other words, renting a car for an extended period of time. Instead of paying the full price like you would if you were buying the vehicle, you just pay for the depreciation that is expected to occur over the term of the lease, plus interest and fees. Most auto leases are closed-end leases, with the residual value at the end of the lease locked in before you get to take off with the vehicle. You usually, but not every time, have to make a down payment on a leased car. The remainder of the lease cost is split into a series of equal monthly payments that include interest. Typical lease terms are for 2 or 3 years, though a lease agreement can be written for almost any length. For example, if your dream car has a capitalized cost of $60,000 and a residual value after 3 years of $30,000, to lease the vehicle, you will have to pay the difference between the two numbers, $30,000 plus interest and fees. If the leasing company or agent asks for $6,000 plus fees upfront, the remaining $24,000 plus interest will be split into a series of equal monthly payments. Not only will the payments last until the final lease month, you will also have to return the vehicle to the dealership. Most dealerships will usually refer to the down payment, any lease fees, security deposits, and the price of registration as drive-off costs. Buying the car outright is the most popular way to get behind the wheel of a new ride and drive off the lot happily. You typically negotiate a price for a vehicle and usually take out a car loan to pay the price, minus the price of your trade-in or down payment. If the vehicle costs $50,000 and you don't have a trade-in or down payment, then you'll pay the full $50,000 plus the cost of interest on your car loan if you have one. When you finance a car, the lender will hold the title to the vehicle until you pay off the loan. After the loan has been cleared, you then get the title and own the car free and clear. Most new car loans tend to come from establishments like banks, credit unions, and finance companies. After applying for a loan and receiving approval, the lender must send the money to pay for the vehicle. You then have to pay back the balance of the loan, its principal, through a series of equal monthly payments that include both principal and interest. Terms, which are lengths of auto loans, vary from 1 to 8 years on average. In conclusion, the choice between buying or leasing a vehicle has often been difficult to make. On one hand, buying involves dealing with higher monthly costs, even though you own something in the end. On the other hand, leasing typically leads to having lower monthly payments, but you get into a cycle where you never stop paying for a vehicle. The end. Thank you.